Okay, we are gonna be live. Welcome back, folks, to BricsCAD Unplugged, Season 2, Episode 10. And today's topic is switching to BricsCAD. And the topic after that is basically learning and training strategies with Robert Green, and he's down below me, hopefully. But welcome back, folks. I'm Matt Olding, and Robert, Vince, can you introduce yourselves?
I'm Vince Amon with the sales and some technical.
I'm Robert Green. I'm an independent consultant, and I'm a BricsCAD certified migration consultant.
Woohoo! Woohoo! Well, with that, Robert, and as our audience knows, 2 weeks ago we did a broadcast on the financial reasons on switching over. Then last week we did migration. What do you need to do to migrate all your data to BricsCAD? And now today we're doing learning and training strategies about how to get your employees up to speed fast and quick with BricsCAD. And personally, if you're from that other CAD product, doing this is really, it's fun and it's simple and it's easy. But I know you have some great tips to show us on, because I know you've implemented a few companies already, and we want to hear some of your approaches and about doing this. And then before I get going though on that, Robert, real fast, anybody out there, add comments, and we'll send you a coffee mug, okay? So please do that.
You're running out, I think, right?
Yeah, we still, I got to look in the closet, see how many I have left.
There you go.
Okay, so with that, Robert, I'm going to share my screen here.
I see it.
Can you guys see me?
Yes.
Okay, Robert, I'm going to let you take it to start off here.
Okay, I guess what I see typically when implementing a company is a kind of a chronological process, which is starts with why would we go to BricsCAD in the first place? And that tends to be more financial and ROI based, and that's what we talked about 2 weeks ago. And then, of course, there's the CAD manager piece of this, which is trying to technically get everything set up, which is what we talked about last week. And then at the end of it all, though, none of it makes any sense if you can't get your users trained. So you can either just throw people into the deep end of the pool and hope they figure it out, which is not what I recommend. Or you can have some sort of a game plan, and that's what I wanted to go over today a little bit. So the question is how best to approach learning and training. Well, the first thing that I would tell anybody is that there's a fantastic resource on the Brixis website, and I've put the URL there on this slide where you can look at it. But it's Heidi Hewitt, who should be a very familiar name if you've been in the CAD world for any length of time. What they did very cleverly is when she started working with BricsCAD, they said, document all your thoughts and write down what it feels like for somebody coming from another CAD program into BricsCAD. And this morphed into a multi-part series over 30 segments that are just fantastic. And I would recommend that anybody go in there and have a look. And the great thing for a CAD administrator is if you have somebody who's self-motivated and they want to get on top of this before they step into the training room, send them here. And then just tell them, look, read the segments that Heidi covers that make sense for you. It's a quick and easy read. You'll be so much more prepared, and those people will do so much better in your training class. So definitely take advantage of this resource. I wish everybody would do this before they go into a training room.
Yeah, and basically, Robert, I truly agree. When Heidi came on last year, her first task, like you said, was to write your first impressions about the product. And then it started with this first one right here. And I recommend starting there with that one because it's a good eye opener, especially if you come from the other CAD product. But then she just gets into, there's 34 episodes or parts to her journey as I just scrolling up here through it. And, from layers and line types to, entities, editing, exploring, new things like the Drawing Explorer that'd be a little bit new for some people, and all into some 3D stuff. But Heidi did a great job with these blog posts, and rumors are that we might make an ebook out of them all. So it might be interesting. Vince, I don't know. Well, yeah, go ahead, Robert.
I said that'd be fantastic. It's a great resource. can't really say enough about it. It has lots of screen grabs. She talks about what's familiar, what additional features you'll encounter that you may want to learn. So definitely stresses one of my things that I feel strongly about, which is how familiar the product is when you first start using it.
Yeah. And Vincent, do you have a favorite one or?
Well, I mean, it's good to go through them. I think what's really cool is the fact that these are short videos, so they're easy to digest. You don't have to spend weeks going through this information, but they're very clear, concise. I don't know that I could pick out a favorite. I mean, there's quite a few that are really good, but I would encourage you, especially for those folks that are, haven't had any exposure to some of the new commands or new things, or they want to learn more. It's a great way to get at least some easy exposure in a short amount of time.
Yeah, it's good stuff. Let me go back to the PowerPoint. Okay, Robert. So next slide we have here.
So in a perfect world, I've got a user who is interested. They've looked at some of Heidi's resources, and they kind of, in a way, they know what they're going to see when they get into BricsCAD. That's ideal. And assuming that, what I've found very good at this point is to take in your first kind of test group of users, the first people that you're going to train. Put BricsCAD, you can just put a trial version on a few laptops. Every IT department has 4 or 5 beater laptops that you can put into a conference room for a lunch and learn or just a few hours, and just basically put people on BricsCAD. Let them start kind of working with it and moving around and press some buttons and just see kind of how it goes. And then the approach I use during that, I call them laptop parties, is I just kind of rove around and look over their shoulders and just make it very easy, very comfortable for them to ask me questions like, okay, where's this? Or, can I key this in? Or, any types of questions like that. I just try to answer it. Now, my logic here is that you can tell somebody that something's simple all you want, but they're not going to believe it until they get on the software and they see that it's straightforward. So why fight it? I'm just not going to have the discussion. I'm just going to put people on BricsCAD and let them check it out. And at the end of the hour, almost always have people going, "Wow, that was pretty painless. That was pretty straightforward. I could open all my files like I expected. That wasn't so bad at all." And that's where I'm trying to get at the end of that laptop party. It really does seem to work.
Yeah, and Robert, one of my things when I've always gone to a big corporation and getting people to learn new software is definitely like train the trainer. Find those few individuals inside of the company, like the CAD managers and so forth, get them up to speed first, or have them up to speed, and then you start training other people in small groups. And that always seemed to work really well for me and some of my capabilities. I don't know if you've had some of the same experiences.
Yeah. Totally agree. I mean, the people you train first will become your deputy CAD managers, power users, whatever it is you like to call them. And the more confident they are with BricsCAD, the more they can help you handle user questions or to deal with people who may not be as comfortable with switching gears. Some people just have a persona that they don't want to learn new things. And that's just a reality. So by doing the train the trainer thing, as you mentioned, I think it helps you mitigate those problems.
Yeah. And here's your next slide.
Right. So let's say that we have now made it through to where we're doing general training for kind of the broader public. So we're really doing the implementation now. We're really rolling BricsCAD out and making it part of functional jobs and all that. So the question really becomes, what kind of training exercises should I use? This is one of my pet peeves. You go to you send somebody who designs buildings, and you send them to a class, and they start going on the software and they show them how to design mechanical parts. Well, that's stupid, because that's not what that person needs to do, right? So sorry.
Oh, you're fine.
So true.
Maybe,
so true.
maybe a little direct. But what you really need to do is, as an administrator, is you need to say, what are these people going to use BricsCAD for? Well, chances are they're going to use it for the same kind of projects you've been doing the last few years. So why not have them create something that is very, very similar, or you could even rework an old project. My idea in this is that I will remove all the uncertainty that I can from the process so that they can focus solely on learning BricsCAD, right? You're not trying to teach them to perform some kind of task they'll never use. You're putting them in a real user environment. And that way they can just focus on becoming productive with BricsCAD. They'll feel comfortable faster that way. They'll actually have some confidence build up because they'll see that it's working and that the workflow really is pretty much what they're used to. That's the best way to do it. It's the best way to quell uncertainty and apprehension for people. Oh my God, I'm learning something new. Well, yeah, but it's really pretty straightforward. And here, let me prove it to you by putting you in a design project you're familiar with. So familiarity is a real key word. You'll hear me say that a lot.
Yeah, one of my, just for my experience, it was probably 2 years ago now, and our colleague Don asked me to download this software and check it on out. And I was like, okay. I did, and I'm like, first thing I realized, like, oh my gosh, I know this software. It was so easy just to type in my regular commands and move on forward, which was a delight. And it was more fun experimenting, seeing if, like, can I do this? Can I do that? Oh, I can, and everything. So I had, to me, I'm going to stress the fun part in that too. Is that once you get people moving from other CAD to BricsCAD, it's just like it's like a discovery process, and it's a nice, easy discovery process. So, and Vince, I don't know if you had any comments on Familiarity.
Yeah, we were talking about that earlier before when we were. One of the issues was you hear about people trying to migrate to a new CAD or a new BIM environment, and they get frustrated and they go, I don't know. I can't find those things. I can't find the things I'm looking for. And so I'm just going to save as DWG and go back to what I'm used to. Now, we hear that a lot with people trying to migrate into different software technologies. The thing that, Robert and we've talked about is the fact that, if I can't find it on the menu and I know what the command is, I just start typing, it's there. That's just that ease of use. I don't feel like especially if I'm in a time crunch, I don't have to feel like I have to find it in the ribbon or in the toolbar. I can start typing and I get the command. And later on when I have, time where I can sort of experiment or learn or take my favorite commands and put them in a toolbar, I can find them, they're there. But there's that point where you don't get users super frustrated that they can't continue on with their work and they have to go back to what they were using before. So I think that's really important.
Yeah, totally agree.
Good point. And one thing that I found that's cool to mention, and I'll frequently do it in the laptop parties, is there are some users like me who M means move, E means erase, and it probably all will because I'm just used to driving the software that way. But if you have a question about working with an entity or getting the right menu on screen or the right ribbon, you can always double click the entity. And there are double click actions that come up by default. That's customizable, by the way, if you're the CAD manager.
Yeah.
So you can very quickly get people into the right resource. They don't have to guess. They don't have to learn a really nasty, deep interface in order to get to work.
Well, there's more than one command to get to do what you want to do. So there's more than one way to get there. So you've got so many options.
Lots of options. Yep. Yeah. All right. Well, next, using existing projects, Robert.
Yes. What I will do typically is let's say that you're working with an architectural firm and they do a lot of small school redesigns or something like that. It's not a really big project. It's kind of the meat and potatoes thing that they kind of do every day. So people know that really well. That is an ideal type of project to use in your training process because people are very comfortable with that workflow. They know what the objective is. So the only variable that they're experiencing is just using BricsCAD. So to me, when I say using existing projects, I don't mean just the project, I mean the files, the infrastructure of using the software. If XREFs are part of the usual workflow, then by all means introduce XREFs early. Have them print to actual printers, have them capture their PDF files using their actual preferred PDF utility. Have them save to live network connections, have them pull XREFs from live network connections. The entire thing here is I'm going to put that user in an environment where they're really working. Kind of as I alluded to before, I don't like theoretical, well, theoretically, here's how you could use it. I don't want to do that in my training.
No.
I want
And you
people
don't need, the thing about it, you don't need to with this product. It's
No, you
just
don't.
like, no, it's just,
No.
it's almost plug and play. That simple and that easy. Yeah. And
Yeah.
Robert, I really like how you highlight, keeping your same standards, your same
Yes.
template files and all that stuff, your fonts and everything. This all just comes over with no problem. And so just, everything you're saying right here, use your existing projects. Or what I like to do is open up your current DWG files and just open them and start using them, and you'll be completely surprised.
Right.
Yeah.
Although in training environments, little secret, I would have people work on copies of files.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
Be on the same
I've never had a senior manager come to me and say, I wish you'd taken more time in training. It just doesn't happen. They want it to be done as quickly and efficiently as is possible. So the goal, when people leave that room, they need to be able to get to work. They don't need 50 theoretical things that they'll never use. They need to be able to get to work. And one last thing, do your training in the morning, get done at lunch break, and then put people on the software after lunch break.
That's
Because
I agree with that.
if you don't do it that way, then they forget everything overnight, come back in the next morning, and they're just not prepared. So
Yeah, Robert. Yeah, some good tips right there. Yeah, I agree with you. And now next thing, you guys. Oh, here, Robert, for you to sum up.
Yeah, just kind of summary, the way you're going to achieve success rolling out BricsCAD is by getting users comfortable and familiar with the tool. So it kind of starts out with that Heidi's journey. You acclimate them through the laptop jam, the laptop parties, however you like to call it, in a low pressure environment. Show them that they can work with BricsCAD in the same way they've been working with their existing CAD tool. If you can do that, you'll break down all the stress. You'll show people that they can get to work straight away, and that's the best possible outcome you can get. So keep it brief, keep it familiar, and you'll succeed.
Cool. Well, now, Robert, with all that said, I'm thinking I'm a CAD manager. Well, is there any resources available, to help me out?
That's an excellent question, because I don't want to have to write my own training book.
No.
And coincidentally, we happen to have the guy who does all the learning and training resources for BricsCAD on the call. So maybe he should talk a little bit about what I can get a hold of.
You'd let me brag about, and I'm going to brag about some of my colleagues who actually do all this stuff, though. So, folks, yes, learning resources. We have lots. But like what Robert said, and Vince, moving from other CAD to BricsCAD, it's pretty a no-brainer. But if you do need that help, our first line of defense is this. We have, as of this morning, 1,449 help articles in 6 different languages available up on our website. Command references, YouTube videos, 167 of those, 116 tutorials, 110 pages worth of release notes, discussion posts, up on our forum. We have thousands of discussions, over 20,000 posts up there, our FAQs. And then also too, we have 9 courses with 39 lessons and 3 ebooks, okay? Now, all this stuff, yes, you can Google it, okay, and find it. but we have one place to go, and it's called the Help Center. Okay, so if you go to our Help Center, you can access all that content, okay, for anybody, okay, and it's all free and take advantage of it. So basically, it's one stop for help and support. It's our powerful search engine for all our products, okay, tutorials, command reference, you know, how-to videos, and most importantly, I'm pointing down at the bottom, there's support request. If you need support help, we have that there also. So, oops, let me go back. I was just gonna exit out of that, and let's just go show how to access it. Okay, I'm gonna do a little demonstration here. So if you go to our website, okay, so to bricscad.com, basically you have help and support right here. Just click onto it, and it loads up the Help Center, okay? And from here, from the Help Center, well, type in anything you want. I'm just gonna type in copy, because I just wanna know more about the copy command. Okay, and you can see I just type in copy and it's listing me 6 different options there, from, you know, a copy list to base to a clip, or I just want to know about copy. Basically, I can go into here, see the copy command. I can see the command options. I can go see procedures and related commands to this topic. And also too, we're just with command reference. It's getting a big refresh right now, you guys, so which is nice. But let's say chamfer. I want to know how to do a chamfer. Here you can go to chamfer, and let's say, you know, once again, you have command settings, and go down to the settings. I could see the different setting options and everything. So pretty neat stuff there. Also, if you go back to the main interface, we have all these little boxes so that you can explore a little bit more about BricsCAD. So if you hit explore, you can see our tutorials, our lessons, a command reference. But if we hit tutorials, this one is a neat one. If you love video content, these are all videos, okay?
Wow.
All videos, and just from 3D modeling, customizing, drawing, installation. So like, say, if you want to know the secrets about the shift key inside of BricsCAD, just click onto that. On it again. Is it coming up? There it is. And then and the secrets of the shift key in BricsCAD. So you can just watch the video or read about it too. So neat little things there. Let's go back to the Help Center. And one thing, okay, Don hates this when we scroll, but I got to scroll here. If we scroll down, if we scroll down some, here's our ebooks. And the #1 ebook I recommend that you download is this one, BricsCAD for AutoCAD users. It was created by Ralph Grabowski, and Ralph did a really good job at doing a comparison with AutoCAD. And if you just go down and you look at some of the table of contents, you know, like, you know, comparing elements and comparing UI, you know, a great book to have for a resource for you and for your employees, okay? Another area down here at the very bottom of the Help Center is you get access to our forum, okay, to our developer reference, our release notes, and then down here also too, if you want a different language, you could switch to our different languages. And then also too, for you people who have to work offline, you're not allowed to get onto the internet at work, we have our English version downloadable PDF. And let me go to that, and here it is. So it's 4,072 pages worth of content. So it's basically the whole Help Center, but it's all in a PDF file. And you can go down and you can see, like, you want to know more about licensing and installation, you can go in there, and that has hot links in here also too. So some neat stuff.
I recommend not printing it.
Yes, yeah. Yeah. But then also, one of the main things though, if you go through all this content and browse through it all and you can't find your answer, right down here, support, okay? So if you need some help, it takes us to our support page. And in here, basically, once you submit a support request, it goes to our developers, okay? It doesn't go to some other company or anything. It goes to our developers, and they actually respond back to you. And so, like, if you go through here just to submit one real fast, let's say I want to know, I have a printing issue, and go into print, I can see all the topics for print, but if I don't see my topic there, I can just say new support request. And this you have to be logged in. You have to be logged in as a user, okay? And you don't have to buy the product. You can just go up and ask any question you want. And I know, Vince, you have some stuff to say about, doing a support request here too. I'm taking up all the
Yeah, no worries. I think what's really important here is you can submit, but be very, if you're very specific about what you're having an issue with or have a question on, or if there's a new feature, something you'd love to see in the product, we'd love to hear about it. And so the more precise you can be when you fill out your support request, the more precise we'll get in terms of the answers. And again, like you said, it goes to the development team. They're always looking for different requests, different ideas, or if there's something that isn't working, they'll jump on it. They love to hear if there's things that are not working so that they can get those resolved. In fact, when you look at the release notes, there's these numbers that are by all the new features. Those numbers are the support tickets that were created, that were resolved, and you'll see there are literally hundreds of those things.
Yeah, tons.
So really important when you have a situation where you find something that you'd like to see either improved or you noticed if you're having a question. And now for those people that have our maintenance, if you're in the all-in maintenance, typically we get back within 24 hours some kind of a response. If you're not getting a response that quickly, just maybe let us know, because typically we'll see a response turnaround time in 24 hours or less.
Yeah. Yeah, well, with that, we're running out of time, you guys. But I just wanted to say, take advantage of the help center, and all the advice that Robert just gave you about getting your employees up to speed and moving forward. Then +2, take a look at the financial reasons broadcast that we did 2 weeks ago, and then last week about migrating your data. Here, I'm going to stop sharing real fast. There we go. And then migrating your data, and then this week about the learning needs and the learning resources that we do have available, and the tips that Robert brought up about getting your employees up to speed. So 3 broadcasts. We're actually probably going to package them up, and Robert somehow start advertising them a little bit more and everything. So but with that, Vince, what do people need to do?
Like us on Facebook and send some comments, definitely. Also, I want to thank Robert. He's got some great advice. But also, if you're a CAD manager and you're trying to go through the process and you need help, Robert's available. We're available. Reach out to us. Let us know how we can help you, because we've done this before. We've got some tips and tricks that we can help you to go through the process. You don't have to do it all alone. The thing I like, and we brought it up in the last couple of sessions, there's a golden opportunity when you're doing a migration to clean up your stuff, to make things more efficient, find ways to get your users up to speed, and or find new ways to make them more productive. Definitely these are opportunities we can look at, and Robert's available to help as well.
Yeah,
right?
Take advantage of Robert's services, you guys. And I hope he's below me. I'm pointing.
Yeah, you're pointing down. I see him down there.
I know. So yeah, definitely take advantage of Robert's services, being an independent contractor. So yeah. And well, Vince, okay, once again, like us on Facebook. Robert, thank you very much for these last 3 weeks.
Oh, it's been fun.
Yeah, I know we'll talk some more. And then also too, next week, you guys, next week we're going to do a continuation with Steve Johnson and with Blade. And the topic is going to be debugging your Lisp routines using Blade. And
it's really cool.
Yeah. So if you want to know more about Lisp and Blade, definitely tune in next week, and it'd be pretty exciting and stuff. So Robert, I hope you tune in for next week.
I will be. Steve is very knowledgeable on that topic.
Yeah. Well, cool. Well, hey, thanks, you guys, and we'll see you all next week. And Robert, it's been fun again. Okay.
Thanks, Robert.
Enjoy it. Thanks, guys.
Okay. Cheers.
Bye-bye.